decided that there was a lot of virtual event knowledge that didn't exist yet. And how do you start learning about virtual events if you've never been in virtual events, but the whole world is virtual events? So we created the world's first virtual event created by an entire team of in-person event professionals who hadn't had expertise in virtual programs. We called it the Age of Conversation Summit. And I think we ended up with over 500 people being a part of the Age of Conversation Summit, where we were learning about live streaming. We were learning about Zoom. We found a new platform that was called Kiko Chat. We have the team, we brought in 10 event professionals to help each other and learn and grow. So many things have happened since that Age of Conversation Summit. So we brought back 3 of who we like to call our room parents, who were the moms and dads of the Age of Conversation Summit in those Zoom rooms, to tell us what's happened in their lives and what's changed. Heidi, Anne, John, welcome back. I'm turning it over to you.
Awesome. Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, we're so glad to be here so that we can tell you about the wonderful experiences we have had with Liz and Nicole with the Age of Conversation. Heidi, do you want to kick it off about kind of about the process and how it impacted you?
Oh, sure. Just throw it at me. Um, so I actually joined the Age of Conversation like probably 2 or 3 weeks before we went on. John brought me in. John and I took a virtual event production class through a class.
National Leadership, National Event Program.
Yeah, with Brand. It was awesome. So it was the first class. He was filming it like a day before they would go live with the broadcast. So, but then he needed to put it into practice. So John's like, we need help. Come. So somehow I got promoted to like the keynote room.
That was me.
And
I did
yeah,
that.
thanks, Anne. And part of that was
We're taking it so seriously.
part of it was like you had to go and meet with all the speakers to make sure they knew how to use, all this new equipment that no one knew how to use. And the joke was, I was like working with the top people in the country. Liz and Nicole managed to bring in like rock stars to help us. So they were teaching me more than I was teaching them anything. But it was fun. John, what do you remember from that was like your favorite moment?
Well, first, it was great. Liz brought me in, and Liz and I go way back, to pre-COVID days. So it was really nice that she invited me to participate, and obviously bringing you in and all that. But what I really remember the most is how much fun we were having trying to learn all this, going into these rooms and using a whiteboard and being able to move things around and learning these new apps that many of us had no idea that even existed, but were all developed during that a time we will not discuss. So it was really kind of fun and then we got to meet great people like Anne and some of the other room parents that we met that we stay connected with. And so what's really nice is that we're still connected and we still contact one another when we need help or if we have questions or things like that. So I really felt that it was really good to work with everybody. We got to bond. We had a great experience, right?
Well,
And
I think one of the things about it that made it so special is that none of us knew what we were really doing, even if we had taken the class, like we hadn't put it into practice, like Heidi said. But we were given the opportunity to experiment and to fail. And Liz and Nicole don't do anything like straightforward. Everything has to be innovative and special. So we put it all out online. So you could come to our meetings and see as we were like trying to workshop through things. You could come to our Zoom practices and watch all the messes going on there and people like losing their internet connection because the whole world was on internet at the same time. You could we just pulled back the curtain is what I think we kept saying, so that like anyone who was participating or not could see the mess and the magic and the bonds that we were like making, because everything was super creative. It wasn't run of the mill.
yeah, I really like that too, because both Liz and Nicole are idea creators or idea generators. And so there's no such thing as a bad idea when you work with them. And so we're all throwing ideas out, we're all having discussions, and they're like, great. And then they would just keep digging deeper until we really came up with something pretty cool and pretty fun.
that was when I learned, put your hands up in the frame. So you're not just a box with a face. So, and I took it another step further. I'm not even in my desk chair today. So, because we were all working from home, sitting behind a desk.
Channel
So
your inner
Standing.
Italian.
this is
But it
actually, so since Age of Conversation, I don't do virtual events anymore. I think the last one we did, I'm trying to think, June, not this year, but a year ago, because we picked up a client, we made it through the pandemic. My firm, I own a firm in Baltimore, Maryland called Innovative Party Planners. And we were innovative during the pandemic. We went virtual, thanks to Liz and Nicole and John and all the classes and sticking together. And three of us even worked other events together after that. Slowly, we started doing like drive-by parties when they said, you can be in person together, but no more than 15 minutes. So we started experimenting with those, and then, get the vaccine helped, and, eventually, and now we're 100% live events again. But for me, the difference is I really wasn't a conference or a meeting planner prior to the thing that shall not be named. And now I do conferences because it's actually a lot like the back channeling of virtual events, except you're together. So it's really easier. But the run a show and all the same, scripting and all of the things that we learned that we had to do because we were working in our own space and had to communicate with all these other tools are so useful for the meeting industry. So that was kind of cool for me.
And I have to say too, that I think a lot of the virtual events has sort of merged into webinars, even though it's not a live virtual event, it's because what we're seeing is there's a lot of webinars that kind of lead up to the actual in-person event to help talk about it, help promote it. And then also a lot of events that I'm working on, there is a online component. It's not live, but we record some of the sessions, and a few weeks later, they're up on the website so people can go back and view them. So it's kind of morphed a little bit, and I think that's good. It's nice to be back in person.
So I have a question. Are you doing hybrid events? There was such a big talk as we were year into the thing, that, we were going to come back out of it and it was going to always be hybrid.
No, I mean, not in the true sense of what we thought hybrid would be. And like I said, I mean, we record sessions and they go on the website for later. So they're not live, or we're doing a webinar that is, again, sort of like a virtual event, except it's just a few people speaking and not everybody participating.
Kind of like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we have no idea who's out there.
I think the budgets for hybrid have really, most of my clients are associations, and it's just not the cost is not.
Right, because
ROI
it's
out
two
there.
events.
And it's too static. People have moved on. It doesn't keep up the momentum at all. Heidi, I heard you join Club Ichi
I
today.
did join Club Ichi Day. You know
I
why?
did.
I really want to go to Croatia. That's where my mom was from.
I've been there. It's nice.
Yeah, well, I feel like that might be part of it, but
but like there's only so much room, and I want to be able to get on that trip first dibs. So
Yeah, but I mean,
Hi, Jonathan. Can you hear me?
yeah.
Jonathan?
Yes. Was there a
Now we
question?
can't hear you.
there was a question.
Oh,
No, sorry about that. I think that we've got a back of house mix up here. You guys keep going. And Denise and Cam, we're going to chat with you momentarily.
Okay.
okay, good. So I just think that the experience itself really kind of helped us all jumpstart our careers. Obviously, the situation that happened stopped everything pretty quick and pretty hard. But the friendships, the knowledge, the information that we gained by working with Liz,
On the right link.
Nicole, really made a lot of sense.
Yeah, because you're not going to get the information and the experiences elsewhere that Liz and Nicole provide.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And it
who
was great.
follows them on LinkedIn? Every post.
Who's
They're
changed their
awesome.
Who's changed their business practices because some of their posts? Everyone raise your hand.
Right, right.
Yeah. Yeah, they're rock stars. It was so cool. So Anne and I got to meet, well, so John, you knew Liz before. I didn't.
Yes.
And Anne, what about you?
I had signed up for one of their first unconferences, but I wasn't able to go. And I just really, really wanted to get in on that secret family reunion for years, but it
There
wasn't.
was a great one she did in New York City where there was an actual wedding as part of the event. It was great. We had
my
the
God.
unconference, we came up with great ideas, and then at lunch, somebody got married.
Okay, we're ready for more.
We're all ready to join.
Yes. Absolutely.